What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with today's very upsetting video, I guess if you will, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now 187 subs away from hitting 500 subs. Guys, with each day that passes, with each video that gets posted, we draw closer and closer to hitting 500 subs. Let's see if we can get to 500 by the end of the year. Is it possible? Only one way to find out. But as always, if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because practically 100% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this: who would you consider to be the most underrated superstar on the WWE roster right now? Let me know down in the comments below. And speaking of underrated, oh my god, we just found out that WWE is back at it again with the mass releases, guys. Oh my god. And you would not believe how many superstars they have released already. They have released, get this, 15. They have released 15 WWE superstars. Literally, that's what they did. They have released 15 WWE superstars and several WWE staff as well. In fact, they've released a couple of they actually released a WWE broadcaster as well as a member of the WWE staff as well. So as far as that broadcaster is concerned, that person is actually none other than Ryan Popola. If you guys are not familiar with him, he was a part of he worked as a broadcaster for WWE, and appeared on a segment that they do on YouTube and other social media platforms called WWE Now, which is like a preview of what to expect for Raw and SmackDown and the PLEs. And even also, and also worked the weekly show that they used to do on WWE's social platforms, known as The Bump, and also hosted several shows on WWE's official Twitch page, including WWE Vault Watch Along, broadcast, and even Raw sidecasts as well. And Ryan Popola had been with WWE for about like 10 years or so. And he started out as an intern in an editorial role before making the transition to an on-air broadcaster. So for WWE to release an incredible broadcaster such as you know such as Ryan Popola is actually a bit of a travesty because he was a pretty good broadcaster. He was good at his job, and for WWE to just release him like that is just crazy. But if you want to talk about crazy, we found out, and this was actually reported by Fightful. Fightful reported that WWE has released a grand total so far of 15 WWE superstars, all of which include the following. From the main roster: Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance. From NXT: Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, Eddie Thorpe, Riley Osborne, Jakara Jackson, all the members of Gallus, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang, Oro Mensa, and Javier Bernal. This is by far probably one of the craziest mass releases we have ever seen. Ever. Now, as far as Braun Strowman, now for Braun Strowman, I'm not surprised. And the reason why I'm not is because the first time he was released, the reason for it was because of the budget cuts. He it was because of the budget cuts. COVID was still running rampant, and there wasn't really much there really wasn't much going on. And in fact, I think he got released sometime in 2022. If my memory serves right, he got released sometime in 2022. COVID was still there, but it wasn't as bad as it was initially. And again, budget cuts were there. WrestleMania 38 was had been on the horizon. So there was like not much for WWE to do but to let him go. This marks his second release from WWE, and he had joined WWE back in 2013, and had such an incredible run that led him to becoming the Universal Champion. And interestingly enough, he actually got released in 2021, in the summer in 2021. Again, they were already they were like at least like 7 months away from 8 months away from WrestleMania 38, and they had to let a lot of people go. So Braun Strowman, I can totally see that we will get him back in WWE at some point. I don't know exactly when. It could be sometime in the next year. It could be sometime in the next 3 years. Anything can happen. He had returned in September of 2022. Which he did quite a bit. He did quite a bit for WWE. Obviously, he had worked a tag team with Ricochet, which was probably one of the most hilarious things we had ever seen. They had a chance to become SmackDown Tag Team Champions to break the Usos' reign. He got the chance to compete at WrestleMania 39 a couple years ago. So to be able to say that this is his second release is just a travesty. Now, as far as Dakota Kai goes, this is the ultimate travesty right here because she wrestled on Raw against Ivy Nile like literally like a month ago, like at least like what, a month and a half ago. excuse me, and just randomly just got released. Um, she had been with WWE since late 2016, as part of the Mae Young Classic. She had two incredible reigns as she had with Raquel Rodriguez as the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Um, she had two awesome reigns with Io Sky, um, as the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. She got released in in April of 2022, just days after WrestleMania, before returning to WWE, um, excuse me, at SummerSlam, actually, if you can believe it. Um, Not only that, but she was in the finals earlier this year. She was in the finals of the tournament to crown a first ever women's intercontinental champion, which was won by obviously by Lyra Valkyria. But I feel like Dakota definitely should have won that one, because that would have established her as a top talent. And the fact that they sidelined her and took her off WrestleMania is the ultimate travesty. And now think about this. Bailey's injured. Dakota is, just got released from WWE. Asuka's injured. Kairi Sane is injured. Io Sky is the only member of Damage Control that's still around, which proves that Damage Control is dead. Literally. And I know that everybody doesn't want to hear this, and I totally get it. But I have to say it. Damage Control is dead. It's literally the end of an era. Literally. And the fact that WWE has done this to Dakota is such a travesty. She is such an incredible talent, an incredible competitor. And the fact that they would do this to her is just horrible. However, interestingly enough, she took to X earlier this week and said that she missed being in front of the audience, and said that she wasn't hurt. So I think that was the reason why they released her, but I think there's more to that in my opinion. Shayna Baszler is another one that got released, and this one I'm not surprised. I think the fact that with Sonya Deville had just been released earlier this year proves that the whole thing with Pure Fusion Collective, it was never gonna work. I'm legit being honest. It was never going to work. And the reason why I say that is because don't get it twisted. We know that Shayna and Sonya are both former women's tag team champions. Shayna Baszler obviously being a former NXT Women's Champion, holding on to her second reign as champion for a little over 400 days, which is amazing. She had 3 reigns as women's tag team champion, 2 with Nia Jax, 1 obviously with Ronda Rousey. And the fact that she was a part of WWE since 2017, as well, which was very interesting. And again, going back with Pure Fusion Collective, we knew that it was never going to work. We knew that it was never going to get over with the fans, and this really didn't surprise me. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Zoe Stark was the next person to go, but we'll have to wait and see. Carter and Chance, this was actually kind of a weird one. Obviously both had Kaden Carter had signed had joined WWE in 2018. Katana Chance had actually been with WWE since the year prior in 2017, and both had an incredible run together as the longest reigning NXT Women's Tag Team Champions of all time, and then also becoming WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Which, I mean, to be fair, Kaden Carter was a dark horse going into the 2018 Mania Classic. She was a dark horse, and the reason why I say that is because nobody expected her to advance at all in the tournament. In fact, I think she got past the first round, but never made it past the second round, if I remember correctly. So she got somewhat far. But Katana Chance, I mean, these two ladies, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I mean, I guess we could see them, at some point back in WWE in the future, but we'll see. Cora Jade, this is a bit of a dumb one because there were a lot of rumors that Cora Jade was slated to get a massive push in NXT, going after the NXT Women's North American title, but because of what happened at Stand and Deliver, there was no point to push Cora Jade, and the fact that both her and Roxanne Perez together are former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions is incredible. I mean, they had such an incredible run. She signed with WWE. She had signed with WWE at the beginning of 2021. She had a crazy run with NXT, and she even took to X, saying quote, "Thankful for all the childhood dreams I got to live out. I have a lot to say in due time. Stay tuned. XOXO," meaning kisses and hugs. She even also posted a selfie alongside Riley Osborne, and also former WWE star Bea Priestley, also known as Blair Davenport, who actually got released a couple months ago in February, saying, quote, "Just got a lot of free time in our hands. See you soon." Yeah, so those are just some that got released. Gigi Dolan is kind of a bit of a dumb one because she had just last week or 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks ago, on NXT, right after Stand and Deliver, her and Tana Paxley had a shot at the women's tag team champions against Liv and Raquel, and the fact that this is happening to Gigi is just a travesty. Eddie Thorpe, there was nothing going on with him. We knew that he was never going to win the Fatal 4-Way to challenge Ricky Sainz for the NXT North American title at Stand and Deliver. So I think that Fatal 4-Way was their way of just taking him off WWE completely. So I'm not surprised. However, he was an exceptional talent. Right now, here's the thing, right? Riley Osborne, all the members of Gallus, Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, and Wolfgang, Oral Mensa, and Javier Bernal, they all had competed in the last month or so on WWE Evolve recently. Riley Osborne had picked up a few victories on Evolve. Gallus picked up a couple victories there as well. Oral Mensa picked up a W as well. Javier Bernal had lost a match against Luca Crucifino, the consigliere of to the D'Angelo family. It's just weird, right? Like I never would have imagined that they would release these guys when they had done so well on WWE Evolve. you know. And we even saw Gallus this past Wednesday on, just this past Wednesday on Evolve, saying that they want to fight. They wanted to fight Keanu Carver. They wanted to fight um Harlem Lewis in some form of like a tag match, maybe in some one-on-one matches or whatever. That was what they wanted, and it seemed like Stevie Turner, the GM of Evolve, was gonna grant them that wish. But now for this to happen, it's just a travesty. And as far as Jakara Jackson goes, I'm actually kind of surprised because we saw, excuse me, what was it this past Tuesday? Yeah, this past Tuesday on NXT, we saw Metaphor return. We saw Metaphor reunite Oro Mensa, Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, and the now four-time, if you can believe it, four-time Heritage Cup champion Noam Dar come back. We saw them reunite, and Lash was like, we all have to go our separate ways, and we knew that, and we didn't know what that meant. We figured, okay, Jakara and Lash are gonna go after the women's tag team titles. They're gonna do their own thing. Oro's gonna win championship, gold at some point. That was what our thinking was. But when we just found out that Jakara Jackson had just gotten released from WWE, it's absolutely crazy. I really don't know what to say about this except holy shit, like this is absolutely insane. Obviously we don't really know exactly who else will be getting released from WWE. However, apparently it was reported by Fightful that supposedly there are supposed to be more releases coming really soon. In fact, I think there have been rumors that Zoe Stark is one of the talent that's supposed to be getting released from WWE. There's been rumors that Asuka and Kairi Sane are supposed to be getting released from WWE, which I highly doubt it. Honestly. There have been rumors that more releases are going to be coming, but we will have to wait and see. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. And as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. If you guys want to send me fan mail and want me to open it up on the channel, which you guys can send me whatever you guys want. It could be Yu-Gi-Oh cards, it could be Pokemon cards, it could be whatever you guys want. All the info will be in the description below. And on that, this is your boy Nash signing out.